Welcome, my beautiful souls, and welcome to our Capricorn money reading. This is going to be for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Um, Many of you are probably intuitively guided. Thank you for paying attention to your intuition. Really, what you're doing is paying attention to your spirit guides, and that's what I read through my spirit guides. Um, you probably, I'm sure some of you have planets in the sign of Capricorn. But whatever brought you, welcome. We are just really asking about your money, not love. I won't say love won't come up, but we're trying to focus this on your money, your career, your creativity, any new businesses, you know, whatever, what's ever going to happen. I just have a feeling, just from the readings I've done already, it seems like we're moving out of this stagnant period and more into a kind of free flowing type energy. It may take a little while, but I feel like we're going to get there. And the Virgo full moon, which is a total lunar eclipse, um, remember that's a time where you really want to think about, what do I need to give away? What do I need to give away? Symbolically telling the universe that you're open for more, you're open for new. It reminds me of Sam was saying he needed new shoes, and I said, well, the way I work, the way I see it is if you buy something new, then something old's got to go. I don't know why, but I do. So, anyways, Capricorn, how will your money look? How will your career look? How will your businesses look? Moving forward, it is for 2025, but what I'm finding is it's really talking about more current energy than down the road. So let's go ahead and open up the tarot portion of the reading. Um, we're going to start with Mother Mary for her beautiful words of wisdom. We're going to use the Gilded Tarot to clarify and go deeper. I'm going to use the Universal Tarot for your main spread, but let's go ahead and open up with Mother Mary. And anyone who's new, I just want to let you know, I always pre-shuffle my cards. I actually spend at least 15 minutes before a reading just shuffling. And I'm just doing it to put me like in a meditative state to open myself up to receive the messages that your guides want you to hear. And I am ready. Shout out real quick to my granddaughter, who is a Capricorn on December 26th. And I know quite a few of you share her birthday. Her name is Faith. We have boundaries. Boundaries. It's funny, I see someone like drawing a line in the sand saying, don't cross that line. Boundaries. I am clear and honest with others about my expectations. Being clear, open, honest, creating boundaries. I feel like the boundaries are, I feel like you've had so much growth in your life. This is like, I feel like what you're saying is if anyone's like coming towards you or any situation that, has any type of trouble, I feel like you're saying no, no, thank you. Like, been there, done that. And I feel like that's why you're drawing that line in the sand. Interesting. So, boundaries. And let's see if anything else wants to come out. We'll give it 3 shuffles. Whoa. Okay. Grab that. Father. Father. My true Father is God in heaven, who shines healing light upon me, my birth father. and our relationship. It's interesting because I have a podcast. It's called Beyond the Veil, Psychic Readings, and it's just literally where I'm doing readings, just connecting to my guides, not using cards, and answering. Well, right now I'm answering viewer questions. Though I think I'm going to have to put an end to that because I have so many questions. Um, but why am I telling you this? Oh, well, because interesting, I had two people ask about their father, not knowing their father. Huh. So interesting. I feel like it's going to relate to different people in different ways, but we'll figure it out. All right, let's go ahead and bring in the Universal Tarot. Give him a cut. Oh, wow. Okay. Five cards. All right, well, we start with the tower. So, if ever we're going to see a tower, having it at the beginning is the perfect place. To me, that means there was some type of disruption in your life. Something may have changed. I may not have asked for this change. You could have certainly given the tower. Let's continue on. Look at that, the Ten of Swords. Jeez, Capricorn. I feel like you've been through it. I feel like you've been through it. This is like you literally taking sword after sword, but this normally you see this person lying on their stomach and they're taking these swords in the back, but this person sees the swords. They know they're coming. It's almost like saying, I expect bad things to happen. And they do. I expect another dagger. And it shows up. Okay, well, I hope that changes. We have the Five of Cups. We have, interesting, the Four of Cups. We have the Four of Pentacles. So before we take any of the cards, let's look at this real quick. So we have the Four of Cups that's mirroring the Tower. Four of Cups really speaks about, number one, it's about learning to use your spiritual discernment. Um, Relating to a cup, because there's a cup coming in, and you may say yes, you may say no, but this is about trusting your intuition. And right before it is the Five of Cups. So I feel like some of you just been dealing with a very difficult situation. I feel like it's not only affected like your heart, but also the mind. This is nothing you can't overcome. Don't get me wrong. But man, I feel the difficulty. I feel the emotional, like up and down type energy. Um, this is not a love reading, but I can't help notice that, we have this Five of Cups. Five of Cups is really when we are looking back, when let me put it a different way. Five of Cups is about where your focus is at. And in the Five of Cups, my focus is on the cups that have been knocked over, things that didn't work out, things that have hurt me. And the danger of this card, if I stay in this energy too long, is it can become woe is me. I feel like with the Ten of Swords here, some of you definitely were in a repeat pattern. And it does feel like of an emotional nature. Um, but I also want to recognize the fact in the Five of Cups, any five asks you to consider change. So here it's asking you to consider to change your focus. Like, what are you focusing on? Are you focusing on those 10 swords? We know they happened, right? Um, and I feel like for some of you, that kind of shut down the avenue of love for you. But what's behind this person when they finally do move on? He's got the cloak of the hermit on. So there's definitely wisdom to be found within those cups that were knocked over. And sometimes it's just like learning about oneself. Like, why did I allow myself to keep taking these daggers? Chances are I wanted something to work out in a different way, but it doesn't feel like it did. I have to say, I feel like in the long run, this tower is going to be your friend. Though, as you're going through it, I know it's temporarily difficult energy. But boy, Capricorn, I do feel like you have some things that you need to overcome. Maybe why I talked about the full moon also, like releasing, release the things you cannot control. And sometimes it's someone else, right? I can't control the way they feel, the way they act. So then I've got to make that decision of, do I continue on or do I move on? Well, I hope you move on, because when I see the Ten of Swords, I feel that, let's say I continue staying in this energy, I feel like I'll just get another sword. Another sword will come. I need to know that. Um, Mainly so that you can move on. I feel like there's nothing to be saved here. It definitely feels like of a lower vibrational energy. And I know the majority of you here, you've really been working on your spiritual self. So, as you're working on your spiritual self, as you're raising your own vibration, it's just natural that, you're going to feel and you're going to see like the things that are not working, the things that are coming between you and your dreams. Like they're going, it's like this, the sun needs to be out. I bet it comes out. Um, but I really need to understand this energy so that I can move on. Of course, that is your free will. Um, but I feel like there's some other type of, let's just say, blessing coming your way. And, even though I don't want to make this a love reading, there are two cups that's behind this person in the Five of Cups, and that represents a soulmate. And not only that, but then there's that cup right next to it, right? In the Four of Cups, there is a cup coming in. I'm not going to say it's love. I'm going to say it's fulfillment, though. Something that should bring your heart joy. We have the Eight of Pentacles. Under that Ten of Swords. So some of you, this could be energy that you've been dealing with at work. It's interesting because a tower could represent someone losing a job. But yet, I get this feeling of like my work life feels very difficult. It just feels difficult. I definitely feel like you've been dealing with at least one person who's been very difficult, if not more than one. So the Eight of Pentacles is really a great omen right now because we are looking at your money house, and the Eight of Pentacles, the meaning of the card is don't be afraid to go into something as the apprentice, because if you put your focus on it, you will grow it to true success. This Eight of Pentacles will move to the Nine of Pentacles, which is success. Sitting next to the Four of Pentacles, I could see some of you working from home. I feel like I have a lot of viewers who work from home now. I feel like this is like in the last couple years, I'm seeing more and more people working from home, creating their own businesses, and it may have come after a lot of strife. But the good news with the Eight of Pentacles, it is a new beginning, and it is the opportunity to really create true abundance for yourself. Let's say you got fired from a job, but yet the Ten of Swords is still there. Well, then you're rebuilding. But I feel like you're rebuilding for yourself. Let's say you're still in a job, but there's just so much damn drama, so much backstabbing that you hate going to work. I feel like there's an opportunity, if you dare, to make some changes here. Like maybe start your own business, maybe just take what you know already and do your own thing. I know it's easier said than done, but I also feel if it's meant to happen, then your spiritual team is going to help you. So let's keep going. I definitely feel like I have some people here who you either are working from home or you want to work from home. All right, look at that. Seven of Pentacles. Really one of my favorite energies in this tarot. Seven of Pentacles has a couple different messages. Number one is patience. Patience, my child. But there's a reason. If you look at this bush, I call it like an apple tree. These pentacles on this bush, on the tree, they are your soul seeds of intention. Um, and when I see it, I feel like that means that something is coming to fruition. One of these seeds are ripe, like one of the apples. Let's compare it to an apple tree. There's an apple that's ripe. You can go ahead and pick it now. Doesn't mean all of them are, but we don't want all of the apples to be ripe at the same time. But I also feel in the Seven of Pentacles, it's, you know, this is your soul's journey. So going back to this difficult energy, I feel like, I feel like it was meant to happen, but I feel like it was meant to happen to teach you something about yourself. And I feel like it's more about believing in yourself, not taking other people's bullshit. And, this down here is all money. And when I see the Seven of Pentacles, especially in a money reading, then I feel like um there's certain skills that you already possess. The Eight of Pentacles tells you you don't need to know everything to begin. You just need to begin. And to me, that means that you'll be guided. Like keep an open mind, especially if you're able to get rid of all that darkness. Then your mind is open, and I feel like you'll easily pick up the signs from your guides. But there is there's some seeds that are coming ripe. And we know one is that cup. So let's keep going. I'm just looking at the numbers on the board. We have double 4, 44. So I was looking at how we have 4, 5, 7, and 8. We're just missing the 6. Could talk about moving on. All right, we have the Nine of Wands. Nine of Wands mirroring the Four of Pentacles. The Nine of Wands is about reflection. Anytime you see a nine, think of that. Like, okay, so When I see a 5, there's some type of change coming up. Am I ready? Am I willing? 9 is about reflection, but it is about final reflection. You're not meant to spend your whole life in reflection. But I do think it's a good idea, like, let's say every 9 years, or maybe even every 5 years, just take a minute, look around. How is my life going? Is it going the way I had hoped? What changes can I make? The Knight of Wands is about the growth that you've had, but there's new growth also to be had. Like in the Knight of Wands, as you reflect back, it's not about judging yourself. It's really the opposite. It's about how you have grown as a person, but as a soul, how you have evolved. And I have to say, as we evolve, it's just natural that the universe wants what has not evolved to fade away. We just have to let it. The human part of us pulls it back in, and then we're like, well, why do I keep getting these swords? Well, you keep pulling that energy back. Okay. Hello, Judgment, your spiritual team. So they're calling you to the present moment. And you have a couple energies that's calling you to the present moment: the Five of Cups, the Eight of Pentacles. But there's a reason why you're being called to the present moment. The first thing I want to say, Judgment is mirroring the Tower. So it's, I feel like there's a little bit of comfort in knowing that your spiritual team knows what's going on. They can't force you to make a change. Do I feel like they can cause a tower? I do. I feel like through discomfort, um, restriction, you know what I mean? But only if it's for your favor, in your favor. Oh, my foot fell asleep. Um, so anyways, Judgment, present moment. Why? Well, this speaks about a rebirth. I think it's good, especially because you had the Tower and the Ten of Swords. This rebirth, I feel like, will do you worlds of good. The only thing I want to say is with the Four of Pentacles above Judgment, the Four of Pentacles speaks about being grounded, making sure your foundation is strong. I mean, forget everybody else for a minute. Is your foundation strong? The Four of Pentacles can be a little resistance to other people's ideas. You know what I mean? Like taking advice. But this is your spiritual team giving you the advice. So that's, I'm not feeling that majorly, but I must be feeling it a little bit to bring it up. It's like your spiritual team is saying, look at how you have grown. Look at the person you are today. Yes, you dealt with all this heavy energy, and yes, you may have wanted something to work out in a different way, but unfortunately it didn't. But listen, I say unfortunately, but maybe it wasn't meant to. Maybe I stayed too long. It's like staying at the party too long. I don't know why, but all of a sudden I got this image of, back when I was young, when I used to go out, I'd go to nightclubs and that. I don't know if you ever been at the bar when it's last call and you're like, oh, well, give me 3 drinks. And then the lights come up. I feel like that's the worst feeling. I don't know why I'm feeling that. Um, Well, maybe some of you just stayed at the party too long. All right. Well, let's see what judgment brings out. And again, I want you to remember, there's that sun. So I want you to remember the judgment really does speak about a rebirth, an opportunity for a rebirth. We have the Knight of Wands, beautiful passion. It's like your passion was shut down within that Ten of Swords. Like you couldn't flow the way that I feel like you just want to flow. It's almost like you have an idea and something or someone comes before that, and then I don't know, maybe then I never end up producing it. We have the Three of Cups and then the beautiful sun. And I do kind of love that it's the last card within this spread. The sun's your illuminator. The sun really is the promise of a brand new day. And I mean that in a way of like the Tower and the Ten of Swords, and that heaviness and that hurt and that pain. It feels like it has the ability to kind of fade away now. And maybe really the ticket is like really focusing on your creative side. Because this passion, it's like your spiritual team is saying, we're gonna present you with something that's gonna pique your interest, and you may become very passionate about it, but yet I feel like it was always meant to happen, but maybe it was meant to happen in the right time. These boundaries, well, we know now what the boundaries are about, right? No more daggers. Some of you could have started way back in your childhood. Those 10 swords don't have to come from one person. They can come from different people, but I would say if that's the case, then I got to think about where was my own vibration during that time. And because I feel like you yourself have evolved, and that just means like you're not satisfied with the way your life is. You do want change. And, I do feel like you're willing to put in the action steps that are needed. Again, your spiritual team is going to make sure that you have that passion. And then comes out the Three of Cups. Well, hello, joy. Hello, celebration. So it feels like the seed, or at least one of these seeds to come into fruition through the Seven of Pentacles, is something you're going to celebrate. And then the sun, like if you have any fear, oh, how do I know if this is good or bad? Well, the sun will illuminate. So when you see the sun in a reading, that means that there are no shadows that can hide. That means if there's anything done in the dark, it will come to the light, and that you can trust. And I love that it's mirroring judgment. So, change, which would mean something new. The Eight of Pentacles, starting something new. Um, I was going somewhere with this. The passion that I feel like keeps you on this track. The sun, just to help, I feel, if nothing else, to make you feel comfortable, like with your choices. The sun is mirroring the Four of Cups. Remember, there's a cup coming in, and it is asking you to use your spiritual discernment. Well, the sun will help illuminate that for you. So I feel like there's really nothing to fear with that cup. Um, and I feel like the Nine of Wands might be one of the most important energies here Because I feel like without this reflection, without understanding like why these swords kept happening, and I'm telling you, sometimes it's just literally because, you know, our own vibration. But as we raise our vibration, as we want better and we do better, well, that's what the universe wants to give you. All right, let's see what's on the bottom of the deck. We have the Knight of Swords. And a wands underneath that. It's almost like some type of communication that helps end a period of time of, well, maybe where you felt like you were carrying all the weight of something. This knight does feel like, even though he's on the bottom of the deck, kind of feels like it's some type of communication that's coming in, though. Could be an offer. So let's go ahead and bring in the Gilded Tarot. Let's give him a cut. I'm like, what is that noise? It's my watch. All right. So we're going to start at the beginning, but we're going to read it as a whole. Temperance, look at that. First of all, it is Sagittarius is major arcana. But let's talk about what temperance means. First of all, how do I love that temperance and judgment are now marrying each other? Temperance is all about divine timing. She's also a message of patience. But I feel like the time patience is like coming to an end because I don't think judgment would be here otherwise. So this is something that's happening in divine timing. I would say also, as it relates to that tower, do I feel like you have a little control over that? I do. But I feel like really the main energy is the recognition of it. But maybe also like, well, first of all, when you recognize the real truth and how it's coming in between you and a happy life, then it may make you start looking forward again. So, temperance is talking about divine timing, right? Patience first, but judgment is like, but okay, but I need you in the present moment, so this must be divine timing. It makes sense with that person receiving a cup in the Four of Cups. I'm going to do your monthly readings, which is everything. I call them life readings. Um, as soon as I'm done with the money readings, and I have to tell you, there's some signs I can't wait to do your money readings. I mean your monthly reading, because I definitely feel there's more than just money in this reading, but we're going to keep it focused. We're going to keep it focused. We have the Hangman over the Ten of Swords. We have the Five of Wands over the Five of Cups. Dang it, it's almost like I'm missing someone. But what did that person bring to the table? Really? What did they bring to the table? Because the Five of Wands is a lot of drama. It's fighting. It's ego. And it's coming over a very emotional energy, the Five of Cups. Sometimes we miss someone and it may be because the thought of change for some may be harder than ending something that's going on. Because I see no good reason for you to want to look back. Mm. Two fives together equal that 10. And I don't love the hangman sitting over the 10 of swords. Kind of feels like I was stuck in that energy. Now, feeling stuck is an illusion. There's always a way out. It's just that you got to be willing to take those chances. All right. We have the Queen of Cups. So it's interesting because this Queen is holding the cup that's coming in the Four of Cups. And then we have the Queen of Pentacles. So Queen of Cups can be Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. I don't see any of that out. And then we have the Queen of Pentacles. Can be Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. Chances are it's you. And I kind of feel like you're both the queens right now because I feel like you're this queen who does accept this new cup, and it is a new cup, and it's a cup of fulfillment. So that's the best way of putting it right now. And then we move into the Queen of Pentacles. Well, I often feel the Queen of Pentacles is like at least a manager or normally pretty good with her money. I call this queen my psychic detective because she's very good at reading between the lines. I feel like somehow there was a blinder on here, but I feel like that has been lifted. She's holding a big pentacle in her hand. She's coming over the Four of Pentacles, and I love that energy because I feel that she feels grounded now. I feel like we are eclipsing this energy out. Or let me put it a different way. I feel like as soon as we are, as soon as we're ready to say, okay, well that sucked. That was bad. You know, that energy was difficult, but it wasn't meant to remain. But the hangman over it makes me feel like again, I probably stayed at the party too long. But I feel like you know that now. Doesn't mean that there won't be, like, I don't know. No, I shouldn't even say that because I feel like as soon as you move on from this energy and put the focus back on you, then I feel like you're going to be very fruitful. So I love this queen who's holding that cup. She's accepting that cup of fulfillment. This queen is holding this big old pentacle. So let's get moving, right? Let's get moving. It could mean, especially with judgment here, like we are answering some of your prayers right now. So there could be two of these pentacles that are coming to fruition. Yes, one could be love, and another money. And I also want to say for some of you, excuse me, you could be offering this queen a cup. And if that's the case, she's taking this cup. But I want you to understand um, this is not the energy of the Ten of Swords. This would be because she's looking forward, not back. So I don't feel like, you could know who the person is, but I don't feel like this is the person who, I mean, it just looks like my life felt like a living hell for a while. All right. We have Eight of Cups. Okay. I like seeing the Eight of Cups. Because I feel like that's exactly what you needed. So the Eight of Cups is really looking at one's emotional house. You know, um, where in the Five of Cups, those cups are knocked over. In the Eight of Cups, the majority of them are in the upright now. And I feel like that means someone's like looked at that cup, analyzed that cup, understands that cup. Don't overthink it. Um, but there's a couple cups that aren't knocked or that are still knocked over, and I feel like that's like free will choices. But this is having emotional clarity. This person literally is heading towards the Nine of Cups, which is inner harmony. Like I am on my way. And it's coming over another 88. Also the number of infinity. I feel like you're finally finding that power within yourself. It's like you're reclaiming yourself. Not only reclaiming yourself, but then I feel like then your creativity just like flows. Not that you don't, because I feel like some of these, um, it feels like for some of you, like you already know what it is you want to do, but maybe you just haven't had the opportunity or the way or the chance yet, or you had to break free. Excuse me, you had to break free from what was. And the Eight of Cups, that's what you're doing. And then I feel like, and then you're free to create. Like that old energy no longer has its hooks in you. And that's the best news. All right, keep going. Some of you may literally be changing jobs. If you're not working from home, you could just be changing jobs. Hello, Ten of Cups. Interesting because I said the person in the Eight of Cups was heading to the Nine of Cups. Well, kind of skipped the Nine of Cups and went right to the Ten of Cups. But the Ten of Cups is over the Seven of Pentacles. So again, these are your soul seeds of intention. This is a house of love, the house of harmony, another great omen of working from the home and really loving what you do. I feel that a lot in our readings. I just feel like more and more people are creating their own businesses. They're trusting in their abilities. And again, you don't need to know everything to begin. That's what your spiritual team's going to help you with. But I have a feeling you're heading towards a soul's desire anyway. We have the Page of Cups, right under the Queen of Cups, kind of like the inner child, but it's coming over that Nine of Wands. Hmm. Okay. You know, again, I don't want to make it a love reading, but I do feel like, well, I do feel like love at least the potential of it is going to show itself. And I do feel like a lot of you know who it is. I'm not saying you were in a relationship with them, and I do not feel they had anything to do with the Ten of Swords. I feel like this person is very loving, maybe to a fault. But what I love about the energy is I feel if you do connect, again, I feel like the choice will be yours. I feel like the offer is going to be laid on the table and then it's going to be up to you whether you accept it or not. Part of me feels like you are. Okay. By the way, I feel like this would be someone who'd be very supportive of your dreams. Like, I feel that strongly. Like, this is someone who would get behind you and help you in any way they can, not the opposite. I feel like you've had people who stifled you, maybe even told you, you know, that you won't be, that without them, you'll be nothing. Well, they just don't know you. They don't know you the way they thought they knew you. And yes, I can see that you'd had to go through hell, but I feel like what your spiritual team is doing is now showing you your heaven. The world. That's why judgment's here. So, a new chapter. Maybe it's the full moon. Um, Remember, we're in a universal year 9. This is the last year of a 9-year cycle. So, this is definitely the time when you're in a 9-year, the end of a 9-year cycle, that final, and I do mean final, but really being serious about it. Like, what's got to go? What do I got to do to find joy and happiness? You got to not accept anything less than that. So, new chapters opening up. I love that temperance is also connected to this new chapter, as is your spiritual team. And the world to me means that you're much more spiritual because I feel like in the world's energy, we are walking hand in hand with our spiritual team. Like we're using them for the advice that they want to give us. We're open to it now, right? We're understanding we have this whole spiritual team that really wants to help us guide us towards our dreams. Even the Ten of Swords, like sometimes bad things were meant to happen. But I feel like with the Nine of Wands here, it's was really to teach you how strong you really can be. All right, well, let's keep going. We have the Page of Wands, my little risk taker. I call this person my fool. Um, and I feel like that's exactly the energy we need right now. It's just taking a chance. But you're really taking a chance on yourself. Some of you could be also love, but I'm trying to save that for your monthly reading. This page is looking right back at the world and coming over the Knight of Wands where your spiritual team is like sending you in this passionate type energy. And it's really to follow. It's like, how do I know which direction to go? I follow my passion. And they're going to make sure you feel it. All right. Well, and so you do. And so it begins. This is you saying yes. This is you taking a step on this new path. And I kind of love it's the wands. Number one, that means it's action oriented. It needs your action. But this is also, which totally makes sense with the Knight of Wands and the Page of Wands right before it, that this would be a passionate journey. This is really about the journey. This is the beginning of the journey. But it's coming here with the energy of joy. So where once there was sadness, now it's like your energy is completely changed. But you know, give yourself credit for that. And then look at this. We have the sun over the sun. Well, the sun is also mirroring this queen. So let's just say this could be two people who are going to have a new beginning together. You know, this Two of Wands, you do have the Ten of Cups right above it, but it's about the journey to get to that Ten of Cups. You know, it's not like, boom, you have the Ten of Cups. It's that journey. That's what these new beginnings are about. You know, it definitely feels like you have a new beginning in love. Though I do feel like for a lot of you, I feel like you already know who it is. And no, I'll say it one last time. It's not someone who can easily put these daggers in you. It is the opposite of that. And the sun. That means that this queen, male or female, by the way, is also of the light. That means I can trust this person. That means this person has nothing to hide. The sun won't allow him to hide it anyway. But boy, do I feel like this is two new beginnings. And I feel like ultimately, you do end up in the Ten of Cups. So, talking a lot about love, but I can't deny what I also see. Okay, I want to come back and I want to look at this Queen of Pentacles. Because I do feel like this is you, and you are holding this pentacle in your hand, especially with Temperance and Judgment right in between, and then the World, right, the next chapter. We have the Five of Pentacles, so, okay. That makes sense, because this is like a tower moment. Um, but let me tell you, the Five of Pentacles, it is temporarily difficult energy. It's also change. You know, often in the Five of Pentacles, it may not be change I asked for, but it may be the change that you really needed. Five of Pentacles, I feel like this is where I'm really learning compassion and empathy. Why? Well, because I know what it feels like. You know, that's why I talk about my experiences, probably more than ever. I never talked about myself in the beginning, but I feel like my experiences are, when I speak about them, it's because someone's going through something similar. And I feel like that's what some of you are also doing. You know, you're helping people to overcome the things that you yourself have overcome. But this is also moving you closer and closer to your soul tribe. Almost like I've been hanging out with the wrong people. And now I'm heading towards my soul tribe. Then we have the Death card of Scorpio. So we do have the Queen. So if it's not a Scorpio for you, then it's definitely the closing of doors. The death card and judgment are very close. Judgment is about being in the present moment so that you can be ready for a rebirth. The death card's the same thing. Like, you close one door, we promise you a new door will open. Well, look at the doors that are opening. I mean, really, look at the doors that are opening. Um, Usually you'll see death slash rebirth. So you're having a rebirth in your life. So I was looking at the Queen. Okay. What I feel also is the heaviness of what was, the memories of those swords. I feel like they're less and less and less. I feel like as you continue to move forward and not backwards, then that old hurtful energy becomes less. It affects you less and less and less to the point where it has no effect on you whatsoever. And if anything, you can turn around and now use that energy to help you and to help others. Okay, so that Queen is definitely you. Um, hmm. Let's look at the Ten of Cups. Six of Cups. That must be why I kept saying that I feel like some of you may already know who this person is. I mean, it doesn't mean you were in love. Doesn't even mean you're in a relationship. But it is someone that you would have. When you think of them, it would bring a smile to your face. This could be energy you have no clue about yet. It's just kind of telling us, like, um, who this other person is in the Ten of Cups with you. So I kind of love the Six of Cups there because it really is about happy memories, and listen, we're just beginning to create new memories. It's a very playful type of energy. And then you have the Sun twice. That's also very playful to me. Okay, so that's where I was feeling this Queen and the Page were connected. Now I feel like I got that right. Okay. Um, I want to go in between the Eight of Cups and or the Ten of Cups. We have the Queen of Wands, the Queen of Action. This is the Queen that moves according to her passions, her desires, and she really doesn't let fear come in between them. Now, I do feel like this is you, and I feel like these are some of the lessons you've learned. Like, why have I let people come in between my passions, what I want to do in the world, who I want to be in the world? This is definitely reclaiming one's power. This is really the perfect energy for what we're seeing, because to me, this is someone who's like, yes, if, especially because your spiritual team is part of this, I feel like they're going to pique your interest. You're going to find passion in it. And I feel like you're going to follow it. You're going to follow it the whole way home. She's also lighting her flame. So again, although we're doing money, um, I feel like eventually This flame also comes about. Interesting, Capricorn. Like your reading really wants to go to love. I'm going to look at the two suns. Double Leo, by the way. And again, the two suns are mirroring judgment, one sun, and the world, the second one. We have the Five of Swords. We have the King of Cups. We have the Four of Wands. And hello, Judgment. Like Judgment jumped over the board. Okay. So first, sorry, King. Hate to give you a bad rap, but he's coming out with the Five of Swords. So to me, it's pretty clear. And yes, it can be Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. But honestly, let's just say I feel like this is, at this moment, talking about love. And it's showing you the toxicity that's connected to it. Like the sun illuminates it, you can't help but notice it. And I feel like once the sun illuminates it, it keeps illuminating it to the point where the resistance may become so difficult that you then do make these changes. But it is showing you. Now, I'm going to show you what else it's showing you. The marriage card connected right to your spiritual team. Sometimes we think the person we were in love with is the only person. Like, that's who I want. Your spiritual team is like, but you just don't know. You haven't experienced this yet. This is true commitment. I mean, that's why they call it the marriage card. But this is really the most loving of energy. Because these two people here, and by the way, you see a little girl there? I think she's a girl. It can also talk about blended families. I feel like there's no issue with that at all. You know, if I have kids, this person will love my kids, and I feel like that's a must. But I feel like it would just happen naturally anyway. If they have kids, I'll love their kids. But this is really about the love of two people who ultimately do want to spend the rest of their lives together. And how beautiful it's coming over the sun. I mean, you want to talk about supportive energy. And sorry, Capricorn, I know this is meant to be a money reading. And it is, but for some reason, love just really wanted to come to the table for you. So I tried to make it about your money. But then again, I kind of let go of whatever our guides want us to talk about, we'll talk about. All right, I'm just going to take a few cards right down the middle. So any other messages that want to come out, please come out now. And real quick, interesting, we just got the father figure, and I was just thinking about the father. Because what I was going to say is those 10 swords, for some of you, I do feel like it goes the whole way back to your childhood. And you could have found yourself like in a relationship with someone who maybe carries qualities that your dad had or has that maybe aren't so great. And, I'm not really putting your dad down because listen, I can say that about my own dad. I was a daddy's girl. But I know how he treated my mom. You know what I mean? Like I saw that part of him and, I didn't like it at all. I mean, honestly, as kids were crying every night as they were fighting. And, so what's the first thing I do? I marry someone who was the King of Cups, by the way, but in reverse. Well, he started in the upright. Very quickly, he went reversed. Kept that toxicity hidden. Though everybody in the world was telling me, no, no, no. I'm not going to regret it because I have two beautiful kids because of it. Um, but anyways, I just want to say for some of you, there could be certain elements that just have followed you, but you can, this is giving you the opportunity to see everything. Yes, we do want to see the good. We do want to see the love. We do want to see the abundance. But what we really need to see is how to get there. Okay. King of Swords. I feel like this king has come out in every reading. The Three of Swords, and he's not come out in a good light. Hello, lovers. And then the Emperor. Okay, I know what this means right off the bat. So this King of Swords, and I'm not saying it has to be an air sign. It can be Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. We do have the Lovers, which is Gemini, card of Gemini. Meaning of that card is a head over heart decision, but we'll get into that in a second. I feel like this King of Swords, I just have to say, like I feel like he's been in every reading, and every reading I've tried to like give him the opportunity to show, these means no harm, but in every reading he comes up with something difficult. So the Three of Swords, I feel like I just want to take him right off the table. And the reason why is because I feel like this is what your spiritual team is talking about. And yes, so it's a head over heart decision. But in a way, that's not what I'm really feeling. Because I feel like what this is really saying is because I feel like, first of all, your spiritual team is saying with the Four of Wands, yes, it's scary to like give your heart again. But this energy is of the light. So there's nothing to fear. And they both are carrying the light. And what I love about this image is you see the feminine who's feeling this energy of the masculine who's right behind her. It's almost like he's with her in spirit. She's not physically together yet. And I feel like the Emperor is describing the type of person. So, first of all, it is the card of Aries. It is the father figure. But this is what I'm feeling as it relates to the Lovers. Because Judgment is really pointing out the Four of Wands, the marriage card to you. The Emperor is someone that we can look up to. If he was in reverse, then it would be the opposite. This is someone, I feel like, who is very compassionate, empathetic. This is someone who is a leader of the people. He leads through his experiences. I do feel like the Emperor is someone who's methodical, puts plans in place. Can talk about someone maybe a little older than you. Doesn't have to be. This is someone who it brings them comfort by helping others. So this is definitely someone who wants to give back. And I feel like they have the financial means to give back. So they may be giving of their energy, but I also feel like this is someone who, wants to help that underdog, wants to help someone, wants to show them a better life. I feel like it's real stability. I just want to take one card following that. Six of Wands, victory, victory and success. By the way, the Emperor can also be a business owner, but you may also be a business owner, and this may be what can actually ends up connecting the two of you. Similar passions, similar goals, and you may just meet um as you're doing your thing, they're doing their thing. You just naturally come across each other. Yes, some of you, I feel like you already know who this person is. However, I just want to make it clear, I do not feel that it's someone who puts these swords in your back. I feel like I'm not saying this person's never put swords in people's back, but I feel like this person is evolved, you know, probably has dealt with similar energy as yours, but has taken, let's just say, the high road. I feel like this is a great omen. Whether the emperor is male or female doesn't matter. It could just mean someone who, is more in their masculine energy. It's funny because my daughter and I just had a conversation about that, and I said, I feel like I spent half my life in my masculine energy, but I had to. So, anyways, I don't know, Capricorn. I think I'm going to leave it there. Um, I know you came here looking for money, and I see that. Like, I see all these opportunities opening up, but I just can't leave love off the table also with it. I feel like the main message here is put the past in the past is the best you can, especially when you think about this is that last year of the 9-year cycle. Literally, the world opens up the next chapter. You have to make that decision. What do I want to bring along? How do I want my next 9 years to look? Do I want more of the Ten of Swords? No. Then we need to turn this hangman around so that he can have a spiritual awakening. And I feel like that's kind of what the sun is doing. Like it's highlighting everything for you. Yes, the bad, the difficult, but the beauty, the potential of what can be. Just free yourself. Free yourself. I feel like I want to take one card, look at that on the full. So I wanted to take just one card on the Knight of Swords. This coming after the Ten of Wands. That's again a period of like heavy responsibilities. It's a period where all the wands, all the responsibility is on your back. But then here comes this communication. And then look what happens. We turn into the Fool. The Fool is the perfect energy for this reading. Because the Fool, you know, the Fool is carefree. Kind of like the Queen of Wands. The Fool is about taking a leap of faith. But there's a reason to take this leap. And I feel like you're taking a leap on two different things: your money and love. And the Fool does not bring the experiences of the past along for the ride. The fool has learned to extract the wisdom, and that's all that comes. Usually you'll see the fool. You don't see it here, but he's usually carrying like a little knapsack. And I feel like, well, that's the wisdom of my experiences. But this is allowing oneself to have this new beginning. This is the willingness to take this leap of faith. But listen, your spiritual team is everywhere on this board. So I feel like there should be no fear in taking these leaps of faith. And yeah, it may be in two places. Number one, on yourself, on your passions, on creating in the way that you've always wanted to create. And again, I feel like opportunities will show itself to help you do that. And then number two, love. What can I say? And it is new. That's what the four would represent. But again, some of you, I feel like you may know this person. But I'm not feeling like this, like like a like we were in a partnership or a relationship. So, okay, I'm gonna leave that there, guys. Um, Jeez, what a reading! It's like truly, I cannot wait to do your monthlies now. Um, and I won't forget about this. I promise you, I won't forget about this. So I'm gonna let that be. But I love you guys. I thank you. I'll see you next time at our table. Bye bye.